Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show, y'all. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful Friday, keeping it nice and easy. It's a Friday evening, for me at least. Some of y'all it's Saturday morning, but I know that I don't know about you guys, but I'm very, very excited about being here to talk to you guys about this new information, and it's going to be a very interesting thing because I got some information for the following week, which will hopefully get you guys hyped as well. So we got to get into some things and everything because we definitely got some interesting stories to talk about today and or tonight, because this morning we did talk about this devastating story around Lily Peters, but today, you know, I was planning on doing another missing person story, but then I saw this piece of information that is going to change the trajectory of next week. So I needed to make sure that I made this abundantly clear and let you guys know what's going on in my neck of the woods as far as the following week and the shows that are about to come up for the following week. So I hope you guys are all doing well out there, enjoying your Friday or Saturday morning, Friday evening or Saturday morning, because I know this show is international, baby. And it's a beautiful thing. I also do have somebody very, very special coming on, Candice Cox. She is a clinical social worker, okay? And she's going to be on to come and talk to us about all this. And she specializes in trauma. So we're going to be talking about a lot of different things today revolving around this particular trial, this defamation trial against Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. So we got a lot to talk about. I got a professional coming on that's going to be talking about this thing, getting us to know what's really going on in this trial, especially understanding a little bit more of Amber Heard and what her whole breakdown is. So we got quite the show for you guys. So do me a favor. Before we get things started, hit that like button down below. Crush it. Make it scream out your damn name. And also, do not forget to do this for me. If you're watching this show for the first time and you haven't done this yet, please hit that subscribe button, okay? I'm working really hard out here in these streets to give you guys the information and the stories that you need. And you see the title down below right now, and that is true, baby. It is very true. And we're going to talk about it. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that join button, support this channel, or join my Patreon, or please, hey, I got that CashApp, baby. I'm sorry, shameless plug, but I got to keep these lights on, okay? And I work hard to give you the stories and the discussions and controversies of the day that you need. So hit that subscribe button and let's get to work. All right, guys. As we already know, for the past few weeks, there has been a huge $100 million defamation lawsuit against Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. And the thing is let's keep it real. It has been messy as hell. It has been absolutely just messy as hell. And let's be real. This was messy from the get-go. This was messy from even before they said, I don't. Let's just keep it real. And I'm sure it was messy even before they said, I do. But now we got some more information, and we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Like, we got a Bodyguard testimony that was absolutely hilarious, made everyone start giggling, made Johnny Depp basically just get weak in his chair. We obviously have got to talk about Amber Heard and some of these other pieces of information that we're starting to see, especially with this ACLU and the fact that she said that she was donating $7 million to the ACLU, only to find out that that is a lie. So we got a lot to talk about. Obviously, there was the other part of her earlier this week being from a psychologist diagnosing her with 2 different personality disorders. We got to, of course, break break that down and talk about that in more detail, which is why I'm bringing on my good friend Candice Cox onto the show to talk about all this stuff. But one of the main things that I found very, very interesting here, y'all, is that the moment we've all been waiting for, the moment we've all been waiting for is about to go down. And you see the title down below, so we got to jump right into this because we cannot just sit and wait any longer. But it is very true. Amber Heard is set to testify next week in this $50 million, but it's really $100 million defamation lawsuit, y'all. She countersued for $100 million, but he sued for $50 million. So we got a lot to talk about. And yes, I know I got a bunch of other stories to talk about. Trust me, I will be covering those over the course of this weekend and all that. But we definitely have got to talk about this. And I told you guys in a past show, when she actually testifies, I will be doing that and watching that live with all y'all. If it's 7 hours, we sitting through the 7 hours together, baby. Just so you guys know. So I know some of y'all were like, please do that when she takes the stand. So when she actually does take the stand, I will be watching it live with all of you so that you guys can hear my personal opinions, my candid thoughts right off the bat. All right. So that will be going down as promised. Okay. Yes, Rosewood. Next week. Yes. Bring out your tea, bring out your popcorn. Shoot, we all might need to have a libation up in this biznai. You never know. You never know. And we got some old video of her, some of her testimony back in the past of her talking about her interactions with Johnny Depp that we are going to be looking at here very, very soon. Like I said, we're going to be talking about some things today. So get ready. Okay. So anyway, yes, next week is going to be a very long week for your boy Pascal. But hey, I told you I would, and I will. I don't know how long her testimony is going to be. Maybe it's going to be as long as Johnny Depp's. Johnny Depp's was like a week and a half, y'all. It was a straight week and a half of just testimony from him. So you never know. It's going to be a long one. I'm going to do everything I can because, like I said, I still got to live and I still got other things to do. But I will be streaming her testimony, whether it's short or long. We will be streaming it right here on the Pascal Show, and we will watch it together as a fam. Okay? So let's get into this article, shall we? As I said before, Amber Heard set to testify as first defense witness next week in Johnny Depp $50 million defamation trial. And this is from Deadline, so it's the real deal Holyfield. All right. So Amber Heard will take the stand next week as the first witness for her defense in the $50 million defamation trial instigated by Johnny Depp. The Aquaman actress could begin her testimony in the Fairfax County Courthouse as soon as Monday, once Depp's team finish their case, we hear. So here it is. So I'm assuming, like I said, I'm not an esquire. Okay. I'm not an esquire, but if I'm seeing this correctly, they will start the court, they'll start the day, and literally Johnny Depp's team can sit there and go, yes, we are good now. Maybe they have a few things that they still need to wrap up in the morning, and then all of a sudden it'll be like, we'd like to call Amber Heard to the stand. Literally, it could very well be that. It could very well be that. So, like I said, it's going to be crazy, and that's when it becomes, like Khaled H just said, a defecation trial. No doubt. Suddenly, I'm going to be like, everyone check the stand to make sure she didn't drop a dookie in the stand. All right. So, Before the April 11th start of the much-delayed 5-week trial in Virginia, Heard tried unsuccessfully on numerous occasions to have the suit filed in March 2019 by her ex-husband and Rum Diary co-star dismissed or moved to another jurisdiction. In summer 2020, the actress filed a $100 million countersuit against Depp. Now, like I said, why would she be trying to countersue $100 million? It's just, like I said, this whole trial is getting absolutely ridiculous in my personal opinion. You're seeing a circus going on in the trial. The conversations and the stuff that's coming out is absolutely mind-blowing. And given the fact that a lot of the stuff that she claimed to have happened, all of it now is starting to come out as a full bold-faced lie. It's absolutely insane. The amount of stuff that's starting to come out, the truths that are coming out now, especially with the donations that she was supposed to be doing with the ACLU and another organization as well. These lies, these constant lies that keep coming out, which is just ridiculous. Okay. And only showing without a shadow of a doubt that this man might walk out vindicated, and it could be a mind-blowing, history-making win for Johnny Depp. So there's a chance that Heard's time on the stand could be changed if substantial shift occurs in the plaintiff's closing witnesses, we're told. But that is seen as unlikely at this late in the game. So Monday morning, we may be waking up to them saying Amber Heard is going to be on the stand, will be taking the stand. Representatives for Heard had no comment when contacted by Deadline about the actress's testimony schedule. It's hard to see how Amber won't prove to be a highly effective weapon against Depp in her own advocacy. An industry insider with connections to both camps did tell Deadline. Regardless of how they have tried to characterize her, she has been nothing but well composed and pretty conservative in court without having said a word. Now, it doesn't matter to me. If you're just sitting there quiet, all up in the cut, that doesn't matter to me. That's what you're supposed to do. Or what are you going to do? You scream out at every single person that's being cross-examined? Then you're going to be held in a contempt of court. You can't say nothing. You sit there, you hear the truths, you keep a straight face as much as you can. You know, there's been moments where she's just rolled her eyes and just kept it going, right? But you do everything you can to keep a straight face and keep it moving. And then when you get a chance to go up on the stand, if you do, some people don't go up on the stand. You can be as animated and as honest and as candid as you want to, or you could straight up commit perjury, which will most likely happen. That's just my prediction here. Okay? Because there's no way you can go up there. If she goes up there and just says, hey, everything is a full-on lie, everything that I've said is a lie, so on and so forth, then hey, it'll be a wrap, son, if that happens. But let me tell you, I doubt that that's going to happen. I doubt it. So this is what we have so far. All right. Obviously, we already know that Johnny Depp has been passionately denying these accusations of domestic abuse, DV, and all that. And of course, we already know that she wrote this op-ed. Basically, she didn't name his name, but she put some real, some serious accusations on his head, which caused him to lose, I'm sure, hundreds of millions of dollars. But he's only suing her for $50 million. But you know for a fact he's raking in a lot more than that. You know for a fact he's lost more than that. Let's keep it straight real here. Okay, guys? But I do have somebody very, very special in the house. I want to welcome my good friend Candice Cox. Hello, Candice. How you doing?
Great day. How are you today?
great day to you too, or great evening, I guess, right?
Yes, great evening.
Well, I'm glad. Oh, by the way, fam, there was an earthquake that happened over in our neck of the woods. So that was weird. It was crazy. How are you doing? You okay? The earthquake just shook the hell out of me.
Kind of caught me off guard a little bit.
Yeah, pun intended, high key, low key, but at the same time threw me off. But tell everybody about yourself. I know that you are a clinical social worker. Can you give us a little bit information? I know you are the head of a organization called Chaos Inc. I would love to hear a little bit more about that before we jump into this Amber Heard debacle.
Well, definitely. Like you said, my name is Candice Cox, and I am a licensed clinical social worker here in St. Louis. I specialize in intergenerational and environmental trauma. Basically, the things that have happened within the lineage of our families that still impact us today, and the things that happen within our environments that impact us. And I have a nonprofit organization where I created a mindset called Chaos, which is KHAOS. It stands for Keep Healing and Overcoming Struggles. And with that mindset, we work with our nonprofit, which is Chaos Inc., to help individuals learn how to assess, address, and reduce the impact of toxic and traumatic stress in their lives.
Yes, I love that. And where can everybody find your organization or yourself really quick, just so everybody knows?
Really quickly, if you are on Instagram or on Twitter, you can find us at Chaos Mindset. That's KHAOSMINDSET. And if you are on TikTok, you can find me at Candy Cox 220. That's CANDICOX 220. And you can always find us on our website at www.khaosinc.org.
There you go. So guys, please be sure to check her out. She's very, very well schooled in trauma. And of course, she helps a lot of people in need. So I appreciate you coming on and talking with me about this whole trial, not about the trial, but at least about Miss Amber Heard. Of course, we need to talk about a few things. And I was hoping to have you on a few days ago when she was when this psychologist came on. Dr. Curry came up and testified and said that she was diagnosed with two different personality disorders. One was histrionic personality disorder, and another one was borderline personality disorder. Now, the thing is of course, when you see Ms. Heard and you see all these things that she's been presenting, that she accused Johnny Depp of and all that, would you say that that diagnosis kind of coincides with all these accusations that have come out towards Johnny Depp?
Definitely. Because when you look at borderline personality disorder and you look at histrionic personality disorder, basically both of them at some point in her life, we don't know, her history, but at some point she has had to have endured some type of trauma. But what has happened is the way that she perceives things, the way that she sees things now, it's like she has a distorted way of looking at things and a diluted way of looking at things at times. And so there may be things that happen in her life that in her mind, she believes it to be true, but it really isn't. And there are often times where she thinks there are threats and they're really not. And so, based off of what she's saying, she doesn't think that she's lying to anybody. She doesn't think she's making these things up. This is her truth. But what I always say is what you tell yourself is your truth, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's the truth.
Yes, okay, that's a good point there. Because I mean, here it is. Like, now obviously a lot of people are sitting here out saying that she's just a pathological liar, right? But instead of it being just little white lies, these are some fairly heavy lies or accusations, let's just say, that she put out here for everyone to see. And a lot of people are feeling that she's doing this just for her own financial gain, for her own fame in a way. And it seems like the pendulum swung back and kind of hit her between the legs real hard. And now she's, before this trial, she was starting to feel like the repercussions of her putting out these accusations, like losing jobs and the people looking at her in a certain way. But her having, say, borderline personality disorder, or the other one, histrionic personality disorder, I know that you were just saying a second ago that this obviously must be stemming from some sort of trauma that she's had in her past. Could that be something that developed from a relationship or within a relationship with Johnny Depp?
Well, usually this happens. This has an onset before adulthood, and so if you look at the onset of it, I don't believe that the relationship with Johnny Depp is what has caused this. I believe she was already who she was when she got into this relationship. And also, it also could be, genetic as well. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that there was trauma, but usually there is some sort of childhood trauma. There's some type of childhood onset that causes this to happen. Following this case and looking at it, what I see is it looks like both of them have been victims in this situation. It looks like, they both went into this. Possibly she was a victim before she came in and she's who she is. And he has become a victim of her poor choices. And, based off of the emotional abuse that he has received, verbal and physical abuse that he has received inside of this relationship, he has developed his own way of coping as well. And so it's basically been a very toxic environment where they've both been triggering each other. And you have one who's looking at things from a more rational lens and one who's looking at things from through what I call stained glass windows, where the reality really isn't what it is, but they're reacting based off of that. And both of them feel that they have been wronged in this situation.
But it's so interesting. I mean, I guess what I'm trying to understand a little bit more is what would inspire somebody to take these accusations, say that these are all lies. I mean, obviously right now, it's a lot of things are coming out saying that these are all lies, that these are nothing but people are coming back saying, oh, this doesn't make sense. The math ain't mathing on a lot of these situations, right?
Yes.
So when you see these things, you're going, okay, what would make somebody go to this length? Is that a sign of borderline personality disorder? Is that a sign of histrionic personality disorder? Or is this something deeper than that? That's what I'd like to know.
And so from me, like from the people that I have worked with that do have borderline, one of the things is just, very impulsive behavior and attention-seeking behavior. From those that I have worked with, there was, a lot of times when we look at adverse childhood experiences that, these individuals, they didn't receive the nurturing that they needed when they were younger. They were, ignored. They were verbally abused. They were constantly put down, like different things like that happened. And so they created their own kind of persona. And as they have gotten older, they create their own reality. And it's something like, and some of the people I've seen have had children and they brought their children to me. And then I recognize that, this parent is making it seem like this child is doing all of these things. But in reality, this parent is creating these things so that it gives them or makes them feel like they have some type of purpose, like you need me. And because of this, A, B, and C. And so looking at Amber, what it looks like is, a lot of the things that she's doing, a lot of things that she's talked about, it is over the top. It is drama. It is impulsive behavior. It is irrational behavior. And it's like, one of those things that, when she goes for it, she's sticking with it. And, it's one of those things that when people tell themselves these things and when they are deluded in their thinking, or distorted in their thinking, because a lot of the things that I've heard, I'm like, oh my goodness, she has a lot of cognitive distortions, and so with that, the issue is that they believe that it's the truth. And so they are reacting based off of the fact that they feel that they may not be physically and or emotionally safe, and so this is like a survival skill that they have for themselves. But just like, with trauma, oftentimes people are hypervigilant in situations where they are, constantly waiting for the other shoe to fall, where they're constantly on guard. They're constantly trying to protect themselves. And in reality, there really isn't a threat, but they perceive one to be there.
Interesting. So, but why would okay. I guess I'm trying my hardest to try to understand a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm a caring human being. You know what I'm saying? I care about people. And so automatically I go, what's the root of this? What makes somebody go to great lengths to do something like this, so much to the point where they start believing their own lies.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
You can see that with this situation where it is somebody who is clearly believing 110% all of her lies. Now, is that, I know that you've said those things so far, but what is it? Changing the brain chemistry of somebody's, you see what I'm saying? Like, does that automatically how does somebody switch from, say, okay, maybe they're in a toxic relationship. Clearly it was a toxic relationship. But how does it go from, I'm in a toxic relationship, to this man is causing bodily harm to me, and he has done this, 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 and this. I'm going to film him. I'm going to do all these things. Like, is there certain levels or certain degrees of this BPD or HPD? Or is it just all, you see what I'm saying? Is this an extreme case, or is there more going on here? Is this personality, like split personalities? Is this schizophrenia? Is this, what is this? You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm trying so hard to understand, right?
Yeah. And I think that one of the things that we have to understand is this. When we are looking at people and we're looking at mental illness, we have a hard time because we are seeing them through our rational brain. We are seeing them through our rational thoughts. We are seeing them in the fact of, if this were me, I wouldn't do this. This doesn't make any sense to me. But just as clear as we were able to say today, did you feel that earthquake? And if everybody told us that we did not know there wasn't an earthquake, and you felt it and you believe this to be true, you're going to stand on that, and you're going to defend that because you believe that to be true. Right. And that's what we're dealing with here. Her being in a relationship, you have to think about it in any situation. When something is going on and when we're not in a healthy place, who are the people that we usually strike out at? We strike out to the ones that are the closest to us. The ones they are the easiest targets. That's just being honest. And so, her being in this relationship, I can imagine that, things were great in the beginning because her representative probably showed up and things were good. And then after that, after a while, the honeymoon is over, and then things start coming out and things start happening. And so, things possibly weren't working out the way that, she wanted them to work out. And in her mind, she started telling herself whatever she told herself about it. If there were any any situations or things that happened that probably made Johnny feel, triggered, or kind of made him feel some type of way, and he responded to her, then, his change in behavior possibly made her feel a certain way. I feel threatened. I feel like I'm losing him. I'm not getting attention. Like, we have to do something different. And she started reacting in a different way based off of what she told herself. Just completely just unrealistic things that are happening. But I think the main thing here is understanding that in her mind, she believes these things to be true. And so, no, it's not okay. But once you recognize that, then you can look at it and say, I have to see her for who she is. And even in a relationship, with someone like this, I see you for who you are. I recognize you don't have the capacity. You lack the level of emotional intelligence to be able to have empathy, to be able to take accountability, to be able to see things for what they actually are. So I personally have to limit the access I give you to me, because I will become a victim of your poor choices, because you can't protect me from you, because you can't protect you from yourself. Like, that's the reality. Like, she's being painted as this pathological liar. And the reality of the situation is she's not telling the truth, but in her mind, she feels that she is. So she feels she's a victim here. And she's mentally ill. So, and she is,
So you're saying, like, she is 110% full on sitting there in that courtroom, believing 100% that everything that she has said is the truth.
If she has the actual diagnoses that she has, she believes that what is happening is happening. She believes that what she feels this man has done to her, like he has abused her and he has did these things to her. And if he has done anything to protect himself from her, he was the person that was wrong.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's scary. Yeah, that's the thing. It really is scary. That's the reason why it's important. You really got to know the people that you're dealing with.
Facts.
You really do. And it's like sometimes you don't know who you're dealing with until you find out. But when things start looking different, red flags, you can't save people from themselves. You can't love someone to the point that they're going to be healthy. That's something they have to work toward. And even, someone who is dealing with these types of diagnoses, like this is something that is ongoing. This is something that they would have to learn how to do certain things, and it's possible that they may be able to make better choices and get better, but who they are is who they are.
Okay, so then explain this to me then too.
Mm-hmm.
Why would this is another part of the whole case that I'm still trying to wrap my mind around,
Mm-hmm.
which is the abuse part.
Yes.
Right? You got somebody who is either side. Let's
Mm-hmm.
say that so far is beating the other person up. Like
Mm-hmm.
say right now, this is the story that we're hearing right now. The narrative that we've been hearing for weeks so far has
Mm-hmm.
been Johnny wants to leave. Amber is beating him up, trying to stop him to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Why resort? Why resort to going into fisticuffs,
Mm-hmm.
beating that person? Wouldn't that make a person want to run even more?
But
faster out the door?
You don't think about it that way. You know what I'm saying? You don't think about it. You think about it, and we, like I said, again, I don't know all of her history. I don't know if she has a history of abandonment, and so if she has a history of abandonment, oh my God, you can't leave me. Oh my God, and so, if you leave me, this is going to happen. So I have to do everything. I have to show you that I love you. I have to show you that you can't leave. I have to show you that you can't do this. And I have to fight for it. Like I have to do this. And again, in my mind, I'm rational in this because, oh my God, you just don't understand, like that's it. And so again, it's like you looking at it and recognizing from him that, baby, this ain't it. Like you don't need to be in this situation. This isn't going to get better for you.
Right.
But when a person has been in a toxic or traumatic situation and they're in these type of relationships, we talk about what happens when a person is traumatized. They fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And so you have your fighters that are going to fight back. You have your freezers that are going to shut down or that are going to be there physically, but mentally they're gone somewhere else.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of on autopilot, waking up to kind of go to sleep because they're believing that this is just my norm. You have your fleers, your runners, your avoiders, your people that just can't deal with it. And then the hardest one is you have your fawners, your people that feel like I can save it, your people pleasers, like I can save you. Or I don't know Johnny Depp's history. They could definitely have a trauma bond where he sees her and I see you as this broken bird. And because you're this broken bird, I can't leave you. I have to save you. But then while I'm trying to save you, you're breaking me. I'm breaking down and we're breaking each other. Like they say, hurt people. I say broken people break people down, whether it's on purpose or whether it's not, because again, we have to go into the way that the mind works. We operate 90% from our subconscious brain and 10% from our conscious brain. So 90% of the things that she's doing, 90% of the things that he's doing are based off of things that have already happened in their lives. And so with something, so they're having these interactions, they're having these arguments, they're having these situations that's happening within their homes, and they're triggered. And so the emotional parts of them are responding. And so whatever I did when I was faced with something that was similar to this before, now I'm going to do it again. But if it was jacked up the first time I did it, it's going to be jacked up the 718th time that I do it. But because it's a learned behavior, because it's a pattern, I'm going to do the things I've always done. So if she has a history of reacting this way, she's going to do what she's always done.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And Johnny is going to react the same way that he always does, especially if he's a victim of child abuse as well.
Yes.
Which he is a victim of child abuse or a survivor of child abuse, which is why I feel that what we've seen in their psychoanalysis of him in this trial, that he'll just shut down.
Yes. And so he freezes. And he shuts down and he just takes it and he's there physically, but he's on autopilot. Yes. I call like you waking up to go to sleep. You just completely, you are completely, disconnected from what's happening. And people are like, I don't understand how they can still be together. I don't understand how this is still happening. Well, then you have to think about, all of these people that are like, have been in love with their abusers. I think it's called Stockholm syndrome. You know what I mean? Where this person has been abusing me, but they've made me believe that this is love. They've made me believe this, that, you didn't mean to do this to me. I love you. And so because I don't really understand what healthy love looks like, then I am going to respond in this way. And, you saying he has a history of, emotional abuse, and he has a history of abuse as a child. When we're traumatized and something happens, when we don't feel physically and or emotionally safe, we go back to where we were.
Right.
And so if he was 5, he's shutting down because he said 5-year-old little boy. And I don't know how to protect myself. I don't know what to do. So I'm just going to sit here and take it until it's hopefully over, and so we have to think about that. Like when we look at people and we talk about them and we say, I don't know how they could have did this or how they could have, stayed in this type of relationship. You don't know what's happening inside of their brain. You don't know what part of them is showing up. And that's what you have to understand, because just because you see a grown man or a grown woman in front of you, mentally, that person can be 5, 6, 7, 17, wherever the trauma happened, that's where you go back to. And your body and your brain doesn't know the difference.
Interesting, man. Okay. We need to get you back on more often. I'm just going to say that. Other people are saying that as well in the chat. So, and I appreciate you clarifying a lot of these things, because this is, man, these are things that I've been sitting here I need this. So thank you. I need this. But that's the thing. He is a product, of an abusive home. And I don't know anything really about Amber Heard, but this is just what they've said on his side so far. Now we're hearing things, and of course she's going to be taking the stand very, very soon. Now I know you're not a lawyer, but what kind of things do you think she'll be displaying when she takes the stand? Is she going to show her ass, or is she going to be like quiet and very demure, or what do you think we're to expect when she takes the stand?
It's a toss up. You don't know what you're going to get. It's a toss up.
Right.
It can be one of those things where she feels like she's being attacked, so she can shut down. It could be one of those things where, if she feels like, everybody's against her, she can kind of get really emotional. You can see erratic behavior. Anything can happen here, because you can't pinpoint what someone's going to do when they are in a place where they feel triggered.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so that's interesting, because then it's like, it makes you wonder, what if they trigger her on the stand? Right. And then
what are we going to see?
What are we going to see? Now, here's the thing. I mean, I know I only got you for a little bit longer, but for a little while, or for a little bit, but I wanted you to see this. Now, this is footage from this is deposition footage of Amber Heard, and I wanted everybody else to see this. But since we've been having a really great conversation, you were just dropping knowledge bombs all up in this biz naive. I wanted to see your perspective on this. Now, it's obviously seen footage. They're saying it's never before seen footage, but we've all been seeing this, and this may be new for you, fresh eyes for you. But this is her deposition footage talking about her interactions with Johnny Depp. And I just wanted to get your 2 cents on this, okay? And see if you're seeing see what you are seeing with her interaction, the way she talks about this. Is this full cap? Is this all a lie? Is this her worst acting debut ever? It seems like an audition tape almost. I just want to hear your thoughts on this, because I was going to show it with the fam, but I love to hear from a pro. So let's talk about it. And I appreciate you blessing us with your time. Real talk, Candace.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you.
Of course. We going to have you on more often, girl. Shoot.
Cool things.
You're dropping off bombs. So let's take a look at this.
Just a clarification, we're not going to invoke the Fifth Amendment privilege, so you can re-ask that question if you like.
Which question?
Did you commit domestic violence against Johnny Depp?
Anytime prior to May 22nd, 2016, did you ever commit an act of domestic violence against Johnny Depp?
Calls for a legal conclusion and irrelevant, but go ahead.
Do you understand what I'm asking you?
No.
No?
Yes, I understand what you're asking me.
And prior to May 21, 2016, or May 22, 2016, is it your testimony that you never committed any act of what would be considered domestic violence against Mr. Depp?
Calls for a legal conclusion and irrelevant to these proceedings.
I did my best to defend myself and not get seriously hurt or be a doormat to whom this happens to all the time.
There's more, but I mean, right off the bat, how you feeling so far?
So listen to her. Do you see how the question was asked? And when the question was asked to her, she flipped it and made herself the victim. Like, do you see that? Do you see how the
That's
question?
why I paused it.
Yeah, the question was
That's
asked
exactly
to
why
her.
I paused it, because I was like, wait a second.
And so again, you have to look at how I always say in communication. You know, communication is not always being able. It's communication isn't what's big. Comprehension is. That's what's more important when you're dealing with something. And so they asked that question. And when they asked that question, the way that she took that was, you know, whatever I did, there was nothing wrong with what I did, because she said, I did the best that I could. I did what I had to do so that I wouldn't be a doormat, so that I could protect myself. So that means that in her mind, I didn't do anything wrong. I did not commit domestic violence toward this man. She didn't say she ain't do nothing. She didn't say that. What she did say was, I didn't commit domestic violence, because in her mind, I was protecting myself. And so I was in danger. There was a threat for me. And so since there was a threat for me, I had to do what I had to do. She takes no ownership for her actions in any way, form, or fashion, just by that little snippet that you gave me. But in her mind,
right.
she like, hey, I did what I had to do. You know, it's just like when you are in dealing with situations and you see, you know, people that are into these big arguments, and, you know, something happens and you're like, what is going on here? Yeah. And they're like, you know, I did what I had to do. I was in danger. And it's like, no, you really weren't in danger. You know, you were, again, hypervigilant. You were preparing for the problem. And sometimes when you are preparing for the problem, you become the initiator, because in your mind, there's already an issue.
That part.
Yeah.
Hold up. We got more. Let's let this woman speak for a second. Let's see what she got more up her sleeve.
Isn't it true, Ms. Heard, that you previously confessed and apologized to Johnny Depp for committing domestic violence against him?
I'm going to object. Calls for legal conclusion, argumentative, harassing.
Isn't it true that you had previously told Johnny Depp that you had hit him?
I'm going to object. It's a different question. It's vague and ambiguous, vague as to time.
The lawyer's doing his job.
He is.
Well, not many times. He hit me for a very long time before I ever
I'm going to object as non-responsive and move to strike. Ms. Heard, I'd like you to listen to what I'm about to play. Would you do that?
I then stood up. I don't even know if I said, I might have said, like, what the, you know, whatever, because I just been hit in the head with the corner of the door.
I'm so sorry. I did not. I'm sorry.
And when I stood up,
Do you recognize the voices on that tape?
Mm-hmm.
And who are the people on that tape?
It's Johnny and I.
Okay. And is Johnny describing an act where you made a door go into his head?
Objection, harassing, argumentative, vague.
I was trying to escape from a room where Johnny was attacking me. And in order to escape, I was trying to get onto the other side of the door, attempting to close the door, and he was attempting to get in despite my attempts to try and escape an assault.
Isn't it true that on this tape that was just played, you tell Johnny Depp you're sorry?
Yes.
And then, wow.
I remember hitting you as a response to the door thing.
Did you just tell Johnny Depp in that recording that I remember hitting you as a response to the door thing?
Yes, as he was trying to get to the door, I was trying to escape in. He pushed the door into me, and I was trying to hit him by getting him out of the door to stay in the room.
And you told him in that tape recording that you hit him, correct?
I don't know what words I used in that. You can play it back if you want, but I don't remember exactly how long.
If you wouldn't mind, if you'll continue to listen.
Okay.
I'm really sorry about hitting you with the door.
Man.
You had it.
Did you tell Johnny Depp at that time you were speaking to him that you were really sorry for hitting him with the door, hitting him?
I think in that recording I made it very clear that I was sorry that the door hit him while he was trying to get into the room I was escaping or attempting to escape into.
I will mark, excuse me. I'd like you to listen to the following tape. This is punched, and we need to have.
Are they being marked as exhibits?
Yeah, mark as
We
exhibit.
just marked P as the one we just played,
Okay.
correct?
Yes,
Okay.
okay.
And I have
Marking the next thing that I'm going to play to you as Q. Would you listen to this, please?
I'm going to skip through a little bit.
I hit Johnny one time when he. Sorry, I'll wait.
No, you answer the question. Please stop whispering because it's distracting over here.
No, I was
That
listening
Lord.
to
These
this
two.
actually.
I can't hear them. I hear
Have
them.
mercy.
So please answer the question.
Yes or no? Did you ever
No.
punch Johnny Depp with a closed fist in the history of your relationship with Johnny?
Answer it however you feel you wish to.
One time, Johnny was hitting me, and he was hitting me hard and repeatedly, and I was screaming. Security walks in, and they don't do anything about it. And he makes this motion when Jerry Judge yells "boss" or Sean. I can't remember who it was, and all we had was a little bit of separation, and my sister runs down the stairs. We're on a landing in between two flights of stairs.
Miss Hurd, I must interrupt you
You can't.
because
You
I've
can't.
asked you a yes or
Then
no question.
withdraw your question then because
Miss
she's
Hurd,
answering.
prior to today's date, has Johnny,
little bit more.
have you ever hit Johnny Depp?
Answer it however you wish.
Okay, so real quick, it's not like she's really answering the question.
No.
To me, it doesn't seem like she's really answering the question, and that she's just stuffing her face and using that time to come up with a lie.
Well, what it is that it sounds like she's trying to justify what happened. Like that's what it is. You know, like for example, when she's talking about the whole door situation, she is saying that, and if you listen to her, he was trying to get into the room that I was trying to escape out of. Like, make that make sense, because why are you trying to escape this room if you're safe in this room? And like make it make sense. And so, but again, in her mind, it's a heightened situation. She may have really felt like I am being attacked, and this is it. I have to protect myself. Same as with the situation where she talks about security. There is no way that this is going on and security is not getting ready to to stuff things, you know what I mean? And I mean, to stop something, you know, but again, what was actually happening? What did you perceive that was happening? And then what was actually happening? In
Right.
your mind, did you believe that you were protecting yourself and whatever he was doing, that he was the person that was the aggressor in the situation? Is that how you saw that? Or were you the aggressor in the situation, but you didn't see it that way? And so you didn't understand why people weren't protecting you. You know, one thing that I do see, you know, is that, you know, when someone asks a question, she does avoid. She starts looking around. She starts whispering. She starts eating. You know, she does things that's avoidant behavior before, and she circles. She doesn't answer the question either. You know, so those are all things where she's avoiding the reality of what's being asked of her.
Yeah, it's interesting how much she is playing a certain role here.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it seems like she is, the victim, or almost like the battered wife.
The damsel in distress.
Damsel in distress type of situation. She just has this demeanor about her, and it's like she's playing a role rather than, I mean, obviously she made her bed. She got to commit 110% now, instead of just saying what I said was not true, so on and so forth. Because now she painted herself in a corner, so she got no choice but to say something, to stay 110% committed to this thing. But what were you gonna say, Candice?
Well, you know, and then there's something called cognitive dissonance, you know, and so cognitive dissonance is when you believe something to be true and you want it to be true so bad. And so therefore you continue to do things, you know, in regard to that, because that is your truth. You know what I'm saying? And so like there, like I said, you know, what I can see, there is a lot of cognitive distortions in how she's doing things. There's a lot of, you know, there's the way that she's seeing things, you know, her perception of reality just does not seem like it's intact. And so as long as her perception of reality is not intact, we really aren't going to understand her behavior, because we are looking at her through lenses that are rational, and that is not what we are going to get from her.
Yeah. So you think that her, when she gets cross-examined, when she goes up on the stand, things that she's going to say are not going to be very rational? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, she's getting ready, just the way she just pulls stuff. She just pulls stuff out of nowhere. She's going to do it again, you know, because in her mind, I have to rationalize this. And this happened to me. And so because it happened to me, this is why. This is it. So I have to convince you, and you have to understand, because he did this to me. I had to protect myself. I was in danger. You don't understand, you know, and so I have to help you understand, and I have to tell you what you need to know so that you can understand that I'm the victim here, not him. And like, that's it. And so I believe you're going to get a lot of her not answering questions and her kind of giving you a whole lot of stories.
You know, so that's why it's going to be next week. I'm sure it's going to be an absolute circus. That's just my personal opinion. But of course, this whole display, this whole trial, all of this, to me, I mean, of course, you know, we also got to remember when she made the accusations a few years ago, the media was swinging one way. It was swinging hard at Johnny Depp because of the whole Me Too movement, because all that, and understandably. But now the pendulum is swinging back to the other side, where the media, of course, it's now the ridicule and the shame is being put onto Amber Heard. Now I'm going to ask you this, and I know you've only like dabbled into this trial a little bit. But I do have to ask you, does some of this have to do with, in your opinion, some of this have to do with the media and the storyline and narrative that's coming out from the media, or is it from the evidence that we're actually seeing inside that trial?
I think it's a little bit of both, because you have to think about it. The media within itself, you know, they have to spin it a certain way, you know, so that they can control the narrative. And so I think it's a little bit of both. Like we are, but one of the biggest things that we have to understand is, you know, a lot of times now we are seeing mental illness on live display in living color, and we don't always know what we're looking at. And so I believe that is, you know, kind of what's happening. People's mental illness has become entertainment. And that's a problem.
Wow. I'm going to leave you on that. I'm going to let you go off of that, but I'm going to ask you that though, because you just dropped bars right there. I got to ask you to back that up. Okay. When you say that, how can one approach these situations in a proper way? Because there's got to be a way of healing. And no, this is not the red table talk. All right. But we are talking about what ways can we approach this to any person that's dealing with any sort of mental health illness or mental health issues. What can one do? What's the proper way of approaching a situation instead of it just being there for entertainment?
I think that one of the biggest things is like if you're in a relationship with someone that is causing you any type of physical, mental, emotional type of abuse, first thing is first, you have to recognize that, you know, you can't change people. You can only change yourself, the level of access you give people to you, and how you respond to what they do. And so that's one of the things, you know, understanding what the cycle of abuse is. So therefore you can recognize when we are in the tension building stage, when we're walking on eggshells and things are seeming like they're going to be a problem. When we get to the, you know, the issue where there's a big blow up, you know, and then we're in this, it's calm and we're in this honeymoon stage. And then it's kind of, you know, we're coming back around. You have to look at it. And I tell people all the time, understand that patterns don't lie, people do. And so recognize the patterns. And so when you recognize the patterns, you have to understand, see people for who and what they are, not for what you want them to be. Hold them to their reality, hold them to their expectations, but then you decide what you want to do with that. And, you know, it's one of those things where if you've been a victim of this, you have to get your own counseling. And you can't, no matter what it is, you can't love a person to the point where they're going to love themselves. You can't love a person to a point where they're going to be happy or they're going to heal. Happiness and healing and peace, those things are inside jobs, and those people have to do the work. And in some cases, some people, they don't have the capacity. They don't have it in them. They will never be able to give you what it is that you're looking for. And understanding that and deciding what it is that you want to do with that going forward. Recognizing that as long as this person is who they are, they're going to be a victim of their own poor choices. And if I stay here, I'm going to be a victim of their poor choices as well. And then at some point, my own.
Gotcha. But you see, and I do understand that, like you know, finding ways to, if you're in this toxic situation or if you're in the situation where the person is dealing with some mental health issues, yes, if you can leave in an amicable way, or leave as an adult in a diplomatic way. I do understand that piece, but then how does one approach one who cares, right? Who actually cares about them, that wants them to get better, to seek the right kind of counseling, to seek the right kind of medication sometimes. How do you approach somebody that may have not been diagnosed with something like this?
It's one of those things where, you know, you have conversations, you know, and it's asking, you know, are you happy with the way that things are? Are you happy with the way that you're interacting with people? You know, I always ask people when they come into my office and, you know, they tell me that, you know, this person, everyone's saying that I'm this, everyone's saying I'm aggressive, everyone's saying that I'm argumentative, everyone's saying that I'm this and I'm that. And so it's like, okay, you know, well, if people are saying things about you that you do not like, we have a skill called raw. I need you to realize, you know, what's happening and what they're saying, but then I need you to admit your role in it. Because if people are telling you things about yourself and you're upset about it, why are you upset if there is no truth? And if there is truth to it, then what are you going to do to change it? What's that W? What work are you going to do to make a difference? But understanding, you can give people guidance. You can give people resources. You can give people everything. And if they aren't in a position, if they're not willing to, if they don't want to, if they don't have it in them to make a change, they're not going to. And that's it. And sometimes you have to recognize that this is what we're dealing with. And some people make the choice that I'm going to love you and I'm going to love you. I'm going to love you through it. And so I tell people all the time, broken people in love, they go through a lot of stuff. Be ready for it.
And I guess shower them with love and understanding as much as you can. Right?
Yeah. And so for me, though, I am a person that will tell you I love you and I will love you from afar. Air hugs and side kisses. That's all I got.
Right. We're going to continue to practice this social distancing thing. All right. Okay. Together. But hey, I'm still with you.
You hear me? And I want the best for you. I do, but I can't drown while trying to save you. I can't do it.
But if you got two people that are, dealing with trauma, two separate people that are together that are dealing with their own set of trauma, that is a recipe for disaster. At least this is from what we're seeing right now in this.
Because what did I just say? Broken people in love are going to go through a lot of stuff, and it's the thing about it. It's just like I say, broken parents raise broken babies. I can't do anything but break you if I'm broken too, because I can only give you what I have to give. And that's the reality of the situation.
Well, first off, Candice Cox, thank you so much for coming on and chopping it up with me. One last time, let everybody know where they can find you and all that, because you've been dropping nothing but bars. And trust me, guys, you're going to be seeing her face a lot more often. Hopefully, we're going to be have you in the flesh on the show at my studio and all that as well. But it was a blessing to have you on. Thank you so much for blessing us with your time. Where can they find you real quick so they can go and support?
Definitely. Well, if you guys are on TikTok, you can find me at Candy Cox 220. That's CANDICOX 220. You can find us on Facebook, Chaos Inc. And you can find us on Twitter and on Instagram at Chaos Mindset. That's KHAOSMINDSET. And I put information out there all the time because I say that mental wellness is dope, which means that it's done on purpose every day.
There it is. Candice, thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate it. And we'll be talking to you soon.
Thank you. You guys have a great night.
You too. Bye. First off, shout out to Candice Cox for being on. That was a fantastic conversation. And hopefully it clarifies a lot of things. Because for me, I was sitting there trying to figure out and understand this BPD, HPD, the trauma in general. And so that was really, really insightful. And hopefully you guys enjoyed that and answered some lingering questions you may have had just bouncing around in the back of your, that brain matter of yours. Okay. But real talk, very gifted woman. I can't wait to have her on again in the very near future because there's so many stories, y'all, that we need to cover. And hopefully she'll be there to sprinkle some of her expertise on those stories that we talk about in the near future. But here, real quick, ladies, Justice, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. That part, yep. Some Jada Pinkett Smith up in this biznai. But yes, she was dropping bars, y'all. So seriously, go check her out. She's very, very, obviously, she's well-versed in trauma. You got to go check her out. But the other things I wanted to show you guys real quick, before we head off into other stories, or we got to get into these other stories. And I appreciate all y'all's attention, interest in this conversation and all that. I told you guys I was going to try to bring on somebody who is, well-versed in this game, well-versed in this world, because mental health is a very serious thing. And we don't get a lot of therapists or psychologists or psychiatrists onto the show, or even social workers onto the show to talk about these things, mental health. So hopefully we'll have more, because we have a lot of lawyers. I got lawyers. I got lawyers going out of style, but hopefully you guys appreciated that conversation, and there'll be more in the very near future. So before we go on to the next stuff, because there's a lot of stuff still revolving around this Amber Heard stuff, and trust me, you're gonna want to see these things. Please hit that like button down below, crush it, make it scream out your damn name, and if you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe button. Okay, it'd be really great to have you a part of the Pascal Show family. Anyway, we got to jump into these next stories. This is something that's very interesting that's been percolating all day, even overnight as well. Has something to do with change.org again, and it has to do with Amber Heard and Aquaman 2. There is over 2.5 million signatures on change.org trying to remove Amber Heard from Aquaman 2. That's all I'm going to say. I'm gonna read the bottom, a little bit of this change.org page, but real talk, they're trying to get to 3 million signatures to try to get this woman off of Aquaman 2. Aquaman 2. And I don't think Jason Momoa wants to have anything to do with this girl either in this picture or on this project either. Because there's been stories that he unfollowed her on Instagram and started following Johnny Depp. Real talk. Jason Momoa ain't playing no more, y'all. So this is what it says on change.org. Real talk. Amber Heard has been exposed has been exposed as a domestic abuser by Johnny Depp. In his $50 million lawsuit, Johnny Depp describes many incidents of domestic abuse that he suffered at the hands of his then wife, Amber Heard, including one incident where she punched him twice in the face and another where she shattered his finger with a vodka bottle. And his finger had to be surgically reattached. That's insane, y'all. Real talk. This woman up here did that to Johnny Depp. And of course, we're all sitting here and we got to keep it fair. Allegedly. I have to say allegedly, unfortunately. But right now, it seems like it's coming out as the full-on damn truth dumb. Damn near. Okay. But let's continue. He will bear a scar from that for the rest of his life. Yeah, I mean, the tip of his middle finger was severed. Real talk. Gone. They had to find the tip of his finger. They had to find it. Real talk. They had to find that ish. That's crazy. Okay. So, also Amber Heard was arrested in 2009 for abusing a former domestic partner, Tazia Van Ree. We already did talk about this, demonstrating a repeated pattern of abuse by Amber Heard. Since Heard's divorce from Johnny Depp, she has systematically crusaded to ruin Depp in Hollywood, which we've already been seeing over and over and over again, repeating multiple accounts of fake incidents in which she had actually abused Johnny Depp, but lied and created false accounts of him being the abuser. About the incident during which she shattered the bones in Johnny Depp's finger and nearly severed it, causing Depp to require surgery to reattach and repair it. Heard presented a false story claiming that he cut off his finger himself, dipped it in paint, and scrawled obscenities all over the walls. Likewise, Heard recounts fabricated incidents of Johnny Depp hitting her in the face when she had in fact punched him. Though staff and neighbors in the building where she lived reported seeing no marks on her face in the hours and days after she says Johnny hit her, yet she appeared in court 6 days later with bruises on her face, asking for a temporary restraining order, or a TRO, as they've been saying in court, which was granted. Photos of Heard from the very next day show her full face without makeup and not a single bruise. As Heard is known and proven domestic abuser, Warner Brothers and DC Entertainment should and must remove Heard from their Aquaman 2 film project. They must not ignore the suffering of Heard's victims and must not glamorize a domestic abuser. Men are victims of abuse, domestic abuse, just like women. This must be recognized, and action must be taken to prevent a known abuser from being celebrated within the entertainment industry. Do the right thing. Remove Amber Heard from Aquaman 2. That is on change.org. And it already has well over 2.5 million signatures already. 2.5. Actually, this has been up for a while. Let's see if we refresh it. Let's see if they... Well, it's gained about 15,000 more signatures in the past hour and 10 minutes since we've been filming, since we've been live on this show. So you guys tell me. Because I know there's a lot of people that are still Team Amber, and I totally understand it. I'm not trying to throw any shade at anybody that thinks different. that thinks that she is still a victim. And there's people out here that do believe that both sides are victims of each other's abuse, each other's violence, because these are two very broken people, as Candice Cox eloquently said. These are two extremely broken people together, not trying to mend their wounds or not trying to put Humpty Dumpty back together again. They're just smashing the hell out of Humpty Dumpty even more. I don't know why I said Humpty Dumpty, but you see what I'm saying, okay? Just ride with me, all right? But as you see, it's two toxic people together creating a whirlwind of toxicity, and that's a bad thing. That's very much a bad thing, okay? Yes, states the case. States on the case. Whoops, there it is. They were the tornado and volcano at the same damn time. Absolutely. Instead of them just going, hey, maybe this might not be the right thing for us to do. We should maybe back off and take a little bit of time, right? Take a little bit of time and figure out what the right thing is to do here. Instead of just staying with it and fighting over this and going after each other the way that they have been going after this. Now, this is a very interesting piece of information that happened yesterday. They had somebody who is a representative of the ACLU talking about her said donations. Now, during their separation or their divorce settlement, Johnny Depp was to pay Amber Heard $7 million. That's a whole lot of money, man. And a lot of people were sitting there going, Amber seems to be after only his money. She don't care about him. She's not in love with him. There ain't no love here. So she said, hey, F this. I'm going to take the $7 million. I'm going to say this publicly for the world to hear. And I'm going to take that $7 million and I'm going to give some of it to the ACLU and another organization as well. Well, something very funny happened on yesterday's trial during the ACLU's testimony. And guess what happened? We found out that was a lie as well. She has only paid less than half, more than less than half. Come on. She paid like 10% of what she was supposed to pay out of the $3.5 million that she was going to give as a donation to the ACLU. Let's look at this, shall we? Amber Heard hasn't fulfilled her pledge to donate $3.5 million to the American Civil Liberties Union, according to testimony in the defamation case filed by Heard's ex-husband, Johnny Depp. The details from an ACLU executive about Heard's donation were quickly seen as possibly undercutting Heard's credibility with the jury hearing the case in Fairfax County, Virginia. The pledge agreement calls for Heard to donate the money over the course of 10 years, starting in August 2016. Mind you, what year are we in right now? I'm just letting you know. August 2016, she said that she was going to make a pledge, give this money, half of that $7 million to this organization. Okay. So let's continue. But she hasn't made a payment since December 2018. Not one damn dime that's 4 years. Let's just give her 3. So she hasn't spent one dime for 3 years. ACLU Chief Operating Officer and General Counsel Terrence Doherty said in a recorded video testimony. When the ACLU reached out to Heard about another installment of her gift in 2019, Doherty added, "We learned that she was having financial difficulties. Heard made the pledge as she ended her marriage to Johnny Depp, saying she would split $7 million between the ACLU and the Children's Hospital, Los Angeles. Heard has been accredited with donating $1.3 million in 4 installments, Doherty said. But not all of the money came directly from her. Okay. 100,000 was from Depp, so it wasn't even from her. So, like I said, this is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. So $100,000 came from Depp, not even from her own pocket, not even from the $7 million that she got from her divorce settlement. $100 million came from Depp. Another $500,000 is from a Vanguard account the ACLU believes to be associated with the man who owns Twitter himself, Elon Musk, Mr. Tesla, Mr. SpaceX, whom Heard dated after her breakup with Johnny Depp. I mean, she was already smashing him behind Johnny Depp's back, and we've already seen footage of that as well. But, you know, all of this is still alleged, ladies and germs. But let's continue. Doherty supervises the ACLU finance, legal, and other units. In his testimony, he was also asked about the ACLU's role in the opinion piece that prompted Depp to sue Heard. You know, her op-ed from on the Washington Post, in which Heard called for change in how U.S. treats abuse survivors and urged support for the Violence Against Women Act. Doherty described the process that went into crafting the op-ed, which he said was reviewed by lawyers from both the ACLU and Heard's own legal team. They went through all of this. They read through it. And they said, Garrett's good. Okay. He described email discussions about how closely the piece should mention Depp, with Heard's attorneys saying that naming him would violate the terms of a non-disclosure agreement in her divorce settlement, and the ACLU's lawyers saying the piece wouldn't have as much impact if Depp weren't mentioned. So the ACLU lawyers were sitting there going, hey, man, no, we need to put his name in there. This won't have as much longevity. As one of the cops said, who's Amber Turd? Who is she? Exactly. So they're sitting there going, hey, wait a second. You know, we need to make sure that this gets out there and people are listening and they know exactly who is she's pertaining to in this op-ed that we're about to post in Washington Post. Interesting. In the final piece, Heard clearly evoked her personal experiences, but she did not refer to Depp by name. We already know that part. Her legal team maintains that she only told the truth in the op-ed, which we are now finding out that a lot of that is a lie. I'll just say this little piece here, this one paragraph, and we're going to continue on. In his 2019 court complaint, Depp said the op-ed plainly was about Miss Heard's purported victimization after she publicly accused her former husband, Johnny Depp, of domestic abuse in 2016, when she appeared in court with an apparently battered face and obtained a TRO, or a temporary restraining order, against Depp. The Post piece went through numerous rounds of edits by Heard's team and the ACLU. In his testimony, Doherty stated, based on my review of prior drafts of the op-ed, I knew that she was referring to Johnny Depp and her marriage. Doherty also said Heard wanted the article to come out around the same time as her 2018 action film Aquaman to give a publicity boost to the cause for what she was advocating. Depp is suing Heard for 3 counts of defamation, seeking at least $50 million in damages and a punitive award of at least $350,000, along with attorneys' fees and court costs. So this person was the person of this ACLU, Mr. Doherty, said, yo, we need to put his name in there. And she said, no, they were against it. But at the same time, because it was going against their, it was violating terms of a non-disclosure agreement in her divorce settlement. By the way, divorce settlement was $7 million, which she said she was going to give half of it, 3.5 million of that, to the ACLU, and she never really did, because the money that she received, the money that ACLU received, wasn't even from, some of it was from her. They said something along the lines of that they received $300,000 from her, but then everything else was $500,000 was from Elon Musk. Another 100,000 was from Johnny Depp himself, probably because he just wanted to get her off his back and he just didn't want to have to deal with it anymore. But why would you send that 100,000? I'm sorry. Why would you send that 100,000 to the ACLU on behalf of Amber Heard if you're trying to get this girl out of your hair? It's very interesting. Very interesting, y'all. Very, very interesting. I wanted to show you guys this clip because I thought this was hilarious. I saw it on Twitter and I wanted to share with y'all because it's just pretty damn amazing. It's her on, I don't even know what this show is, to be really honest, but she is on this, she's on this show talking about donating $7 million to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles and the ACLU. And she basically says in it, I don't want anything. I don't want any of the money, because people were sitting there going, you just married him for the money and that's it. And she's going, no, that's a lie. That's a full lie. I want to, in proof that I don't want his money, I'm going to donate all of it for good causes and good organizations. Yeah. Let's take a look at this. This is hilarious.
And actually were all kinds of accusations flying your way when you said all this. And then there was a divorce settlement. You got $7 million. People were saying this is all about the money. But then you did something that twisted that whole argument. What did you do with that money?
$7 million in total was donated to, I split it between the ACLU and Children's Hospital of Los Angeles.
Power to you, because
Wow.
that's something that I've never heard
I wanted
of.
nothing.
Well, Emma, are you happy?
Donated nothing.
Yes.
Okay, I'm happy to
Absolutely.
hear that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a real thing. This girl really said live this.
Said all this, and then there was a divorce settlement. You got $7 million.
And it's like, look at her face, man. Look at her face. This is hilarious. Look at her face. I'm sorry. I'd rather her come out vindicated and all this be the truth, but none of it is. This is all lies. She done mucked this up, y'all. Done mucked it up. That one thing that we've seen so far has been the truth. This is frustrating, y'all. Frustrating. Let me play this one more time for the nosebleed seats.
Said all this, and then there was a divorce settlement. You got $7 million. People were saying this is all about the money. But then you did something that twisted that whole argument. What did you do with that money?
$7 million in total was donated to, I split it between the ACLU and Children's Hospital of Los Angeles.
Okay. So then where's the money at? Real talk, where's the money at? Where the money be at? That's what I want to know. And even so, when she's talking about this, she can't even look at him in the eye. Haven't you noticed that? When she's talking about this, she can't even look at this mother love in the eye. This host of this show, I don't know the show. I mean, shout out to whoever this show, but she can't even look at him in the eye. Fully. She can't even look him in the eye, y'all. Come on, man. Full on cap. Full cap. Full cap. But I'm gonna play it one more time. Just the beginning. And it's funny because everybody else is like, oh my God, that's so amazing. Because they believe her at this time. They're believing this woman at this time. But clearly it's straight lies. And if he really did put his hands on her in any type of way, in any violent way, no one's going to believe it now. It is the boy that cried wolf, y'all. No one's going to believe that the wolf's out here anymore. You've been lying this entire time, even if there's one truth within a haystack of lies. You're trying to find that needle. That's impossible. In that haystack, that's impossible. Because all of this is overshadowing anything that could be truth coming out of her mouth. It's terrible.
And actually were all kinds of accusations flying your way when you said all this. And then there was a divorce settlement. You got $7 million. People were saying this is all about the money. But then you did something that twisted that whole argument. What did you do with that money?
$7 million in total was donated to, I split it between the ACLU and Children's Hospital of Los Angeles.
Okay, I'm done. But at the same time, all of this proving positive that this is full on lie, and a good percent of this money that has been sent to the ACLU came from other dudes' pockets. Some of it came from her ex-husband's pocket. That's insane.
Because that's something that I've never heard of.
I wanted nothing.
I wanted nothing. Oh, please. I'm doing so much for my people. That's literally what she's sounding like. And I love this part. I donated nothing. So where's the $7 million at, girl? I get it. You live an expensive lifestyle and all that stuff. Real talk. That lifestyle ain't cheap. Her lifestyle, I'm sure, ain't cheap. But $7 million? $7 million? Okay. I'm sorry, that's a lot of money to just burn through. So where's that money? Unless it's, I get it, maybe legal stuff, sending it to her lawyers and whatnot. But I mean, where's that money going to? Just saying. As Zoza Bob says. That's funny. Where did it go? Oh, I lost it. Damn. It's gone. Anyway. Oh, Pascal and his Brit voice. Yes. It's the you shall not pass. But at the same time, real talk. And that's a whole different franchise. But you see what I'm saying here, guys. This is all of this. No matter how hard she's out here trying to expose some truth somewhere in here, because I'm sure there's some truth within this whole thing. All the other lies, all these lies are overshadowing the truth. Any glimmer of truth, gone. Dead and gone. Gone, baby. Gone. Okay? Gone, baby. And that's really bloody sad. Anyway, we got another thing, one more thing, and I thought this was really hilarious. This is what happened during the trial. Johnny Depp had he had a bodyguard that came in and testified, and there's this. I'm just gonna share with you guys because it's just funny. It's just funny, just something light. Given the fact that it is Friday, it's been a long, messed up week. R.I.P. Lily Peters. Real talk. That has been some devastating news. But this piece is just hilarious to me. So Johnny Depp and courtroom are reduced to giggles during bizarre exchange between Bodyguard and Amber Heard's lawyer about actor's yogurt slinger. Yeah, I said it. So let's get into it. This will be quick. And that's what he said. Anyway, moving on. All jokes aside, the defamation trial involving Johnny Depp and Amber Heard took a hilarious turn when the Pirates of the Caribbean star's former bodyguard took the stand and was asked if he'd ever seen the actor's yogurt slinger. I mean, okay, so first off, can I before we go into this piece, ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué? Why would they act? Why? Okay. We're going back. Why? Somebody please explain this to me, man. Why would suddenly I'm sorry. Why would the lawyer suddenly just go, well, let's talk about his yoga slinger? Like, why does that make any sense to you, y'all? Because it don't work for me. What makes somebody go, oh, let's talk about his penis? Somebody. The lawyers out of nowhere, the esquires, were wondering about his penis. That doesn't make any sense to me. But okay, let's continue. In his Zoom testimony, Malcolm Connolly, was asked about whether or not it's true that Depp was urinating in the foyer of the couple's home in Australia during an argument in 2015. Connolly reduced the courtroom to hysterics when he said, I think I would remember if I'd seen Mr. Depp's yogurt slinger. The alleged urinating incident sparked a fight between the couple that led to Depp having the top of his finger severed. Depp, 58, is suing Heard. We already know about all that stuff. Although not named in the piece, let's jump through this thing. She obviously countersued for $100 million. As you can see, Johnny Depp is just getting weak out in here. Okay? Ness. Exactly, Tyler. Exactly. So, Connolly was questioned about how Depp and Heard got along during the early part of their relationship. The Scottish security man described the pair as lovey-dovey and Heard as lovely, charming. Though Connolly said, I don't know why I'm putting in accent, but they said he's Scottish, so I'm just trying to have some fun. Moving on, though Connolly said that things began to change over time, with Heard beginning to wear the pants in the relationship, as he put it. Damn. When asked about the couple's infamous trip to Australia in 2015, when Depp's finger was severed, Connolly said when he came upon their argument, it was chaos. Heard was screaming at Depp, calling him a coward, while the Edward Scissorhands star nursed his finger, according to Connolly. Heard's lawyer maintained that Depp had been trying to urinate in the foyer of their Australian home, saying the actor had his penis out in the midst of the fight. Thank God it was only his finger that got severed. Bruh, we don't need a Bobbitt thing happening here. You feel me? Remember Lorena Bobbitt? Nobody? Okay, moving on. Connolly shot back saying, I would remember if I had seen Mr. Depp's penis. That prompted laughter from nearly everyone in the courtroom, although Heard remained stoic throughout. She's probably on some really good some anxiety drugs, you know what I'm saying? Numbing her out, maybe. A recording was played in the court around this time in which Depp could be heard saying that Heard made him feel sick. The alleged peeing incident, which was also brought up in 2020 during Depp's libel lawsuit against the Sun newspaper in London. During that hearing, Heard alleged that in 2015, Depp relieved himself inside of their Australian home. Heard said in 2020 that Depp was trying to write my name, peeing on the walls and carpet walking through the house. Depp described the time she spent with Depp in Australia as the worst thing I've ever been through. And this is Connolly, just so you know. Connolly. Yes, Lorena Bobbitt. Thank you. Not Laura Bobbitt. Lorena Bobbitt. But that's a whole other Charles Dickens story. Dickens. Get it? Moving on. In his testimony in the lawsuit in 2020, Connolly said that he heard Depp shout, "Look at my finger. She cut my effing finger off. She smashed my hand with a vodka bottle." At that time, Connolly said that he lied about how Depp hurt his finger in order to protect Heard. Interesting. Connolly, a former prison guard, said remotely from his home in England in April 2022 that he witnessed Heard throwing a cigarette lighter and a canned soda at Depp during the couple's tumultuous relationship. In addition, Connolly said that he noticed scratches on Depp's face. The Black Masked Star was not happy on the couple's honeymoon, according to Connolly. Connolly quipped about noticing swelling under Depp's eye during their honeymoon. He's walked into a door, or a door walked into him. This is just insane. But during this whole thing, they're talking about, I guess Depp whipped it out and started peeing all over the walls. That's insane. That's absolutely insane, y'all. And then from that's when a fight broke out, I guess. And he lost he got the tip of his finger cut off, severed. 1 second, hold on. I'm trying to pull this up real quick. Because, of course, we got to see a little bit of this because this is just hilarious. All right, here we go. We got to take a look at this because this is funny. All right. This is Connolly's testimony and all that.
Yes, I could hear. No, yeah, I could hear. Definitely hear something through the door, yeah.
But you said the door was so thick you couldn't hear the actual words that were being said. Is that right?
No, just a shouting.
And then you went in the house and saw Mr. Depp in the foyer, correct?
Yes, correct.
And Mr. Depp was trying to urinate in the foyer, wasn't he?
No.
Mr. Depp had his penis out of his pants, didn't he?
I think I would remember.
Relevance.
Mr. Depp's penis.
I'll allow. Next question.
And you were trying to get Mr. Depp out of the house, correct?
Correct. I was trying to get Mr. Depp out of the house, yes.
And Mr. Depp was refusing to leave the house, was he not?
Not so much refused. He just wanted 2 minutes to see his piece.
You took Mr. Depp's arm to try to move him out, but he broke away. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, so he was strong enough to break away from your grip, correct?
I'm going to roll that back one more time.
No, just
Come on. But apparently, Bodyguard Connolly will take our land, but they'll never take our freedom. Connolly is saying something different. Why is it tripping now? Why is it tripping? Come on now. Okay, I got it now. But he's saying that the peeing situation did not actually happen. That's very interesting. I just want to play one last time for you guys to hear this.
Yes, I could hear. No, yeah, I could hear. Definitely hear something through the door, yeah.
But you said the door was so thick you couldn't hear the actual words that were being said. Is that right?
No, just a shouting.
And then you went in the house and saw Mr. Depp in the foyer, correct?
Yes, correct.
And Mr. Depp was trying to urinate in the foyer, wasn't he?
No.
He's like, no.
Mr. Depp had his penis out of his pants, didn't he?
I think I would remember
Relevance.
seeing Mr. Depp's penis.
I'll allow. Next.
I think I'd remember. Like, he's literally going like, literally, I would remember. I mean, I think all of us would remember. I think all of us would remember just randomly a famous person just whipping it out and just urinating all over the walls, wouldn't we? Just saying, asking for a friend, you know?
Next question.
And you were trying to get Mr. Depp out of the house, correct?
Correct. I was trying to get Mr. Depp out of the house, yes.
And Mr. Depp was refusing to leave the house, was he not?
Not so much refused. He just wanted 2 minutes to see his piece.
You took Mr. Depp's arm to try to move him out, but he broke away. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, so he was strong enough to break away from your grip, correct?
No.
So you had his arm and he broke away, though, correct?
No.
Isn't that what you just said?
No, I let him go.
You let go. Yes, but it wasn't
Yes,
easy.
of course.
It wasn't
I'm not
easy.
going to drag him by it.
So Mr. Depp's your boss. You'll do what Mr. Depp wants, correct?
No.
It's not easy to get Mr. Depp out of the house, correct?
No.
Not easy.
Okay. Now, could we?
There's still a lot left in the day. Maybe you should dye your hair. I see rose.
Did you hear that, Mr. Connolly?
I did, yes.
And that was the sort of condition Mr. Depp was in when you saw him at the house, correct?
Yes, yes.
Mr. Depp was upset and angry when you saw him at the house, correct?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. Now, did you take Mr. Depp to the hospital?
Along with others, yes.
Is it your testimony that Mr. Depp was coherent at the hospital?
Yes.
Let's show Defendant's Exhibit 370, and I'd just like you to look at something for a moment. I'm not putting it in, I'm not publishing it. I just want to show him a document. Defendant's Exhibit 370.
Your Honor, I'm going to object on foundation grounds. The witness is not even copied on this document.
I'm going to ask him a question and ask him if it refreshes his recollection. That's all I was going to ask him about. I can use any document to refresh.
Wait, if you want to approach for a second, just see what.
Okay, that's good enough. As you can see, we all remember, we all know for the most part the infamous moment that the infamous fight that happened in the Australia home, and there's allegations saying that Depp was out here in the crib, drunk as hell, pissing in his own hallway. And I guess what's being alleged is that he was trying to write her name, I guess, on the walls, I guess, of their hallway with his own urine, like it was peeing in the snow. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how anyone can do that. A lot of cursive, because there's no way you can do just stop and then start stream and then end stream and then start stream again. It's impossible. Okay. But allegedly he was trying to write her name. Allegedly, this is what the story is. This man, his bodyguard, is saying that that did not happen. But in an earlier trial, he did say some things that were not, I guess he was saying that they were not true at that in the past. And now he's coming back and saying, I was just trying to protect people. So I don't know. This is a crazy one, but he said, hey, if I had known, I wouldn't know if this was Johnny Depp's penis. If he just whipped it out, I would have known. I would have remembered if I saw Johnny Depp's purple-headed yogurt slinger. Real talk. It's nuts. This whole thing is absolutely bloody nuts. I'm going to look at a couple more things. I wanted to see a little bit more because, I mean, obviously, there's a lot more to this guy. Funny guy. Pretty funny guy. Hold on, I'm just making sure. One second. No, never mind. That's not the stuff. But as you see, this is the craziness that's going down. Obviously, more and more information is coming out. More and more other accounts are starting to come out where more and more people are saying things. I mean, even the bodyguard said in a joke saying Jack Sparrow was more drunk than Johnny Depp. Allegedly. Jack Sparrow was more drunk than Johnny Depp, jokes Depp's bodyguard. He testifies whether he witnessed Johnny Depp's substance abuse and drinking. At one point, the star's bodyguard joked about Johnny Depp's Pirates of the Caribbean character, Jack Sparrow, was more drunk than the actor. And that says a lot too. But that also does show to you, and you hear the audio of them, of him like angry, and he's clearly inebriated. He's clearly intoxicated. But at the same time, that doesn't deserve somebody's finger getting lobbed off. Then also, if I'm correct, in that the same time that she put a cigarette out on his face, he didn't put it on his own face. He didn't put it out on his own face. You see what I'm saying? He didn't put that cigarette out on his own face. She did. And then he went to the hospital and had to get his fingertip surgically reattached to his finger. That's insane. That is absolutely bloody insane. Insane. So, once again, I'm going to pull up this petition really quick because I want you guys to see this one last time so that you guys can see it for yourself. And if you guys want to do something with it, you can. It's quickly inching up. I mean, it's quickly inching up to 3 million signatures, basically saying, please remove her from Aquaman 2. And, you know, if you really think about it, it makes me wonder if this woman even has a chance of even working in that town ever again. If she even has a chance to work on a sitcom, a TV show, movies, anything. Does she have any fighting chance? Even if she walks out of this a winner, let's just be real. She goes this coming week, maybe Monday later, or maybe first thing Monday, or it might be Tuesday. We never know. Depends on what Johnny Depp's team does on Monday. But if it goes according to plan, she'll be up there testifying, okay? And if she does do her testimony and say it moves everyone, and the jury does find it on her behalf, that she wins with the W, do you think she really going to have a job out here in these streets after all of this stuff that's been put out? I'm going to sit here and say, I don't think so. I think her career is over, y'all. That's just me. I can see her doing like some really bad direct-to-DVD movies because they just need a name, and she's still a name, no matter what. She'll be doing movies with Pauly Shore. I'm sorry. I said it. She'll be doing movies with Pauly Shore. You know? Oh, you see what I'm saying? Direct to, like, straight up direct to Crackle. Okay? She won't even be on Hulu. She gonna be on Crackle. You feel me? With Pauly Shore. and Corey Feldman. Direct to DVD crappy ass D-list, Z-list movies. You think that if she wins this $100 million defamation lawsuit, they really gonna hire her again? I'm telling you, hell to the no, buddy. Yeah, Pauly Shore. I said it. I mean, from what I understand, Pauly Shore's a nice guy, but you know what I'm saying. When was the last time he was in a big hit? Aside from Encino Man up in this Biz Naive. Come on. Or Andy Dick. Oh my God. Andy Dick. Yeah, Andy Dick. That's another person we need to send a few prayers out for Andy Dick. But real talk. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be a jerk. I'm just saying. She'll be doing Lifetime movies or Hallmark. But see, Hallmark will be like, no, we a Christian organization. We're a Christian network. No, she evil. No, she ain't about that. She ain't. Do you think we're going to really take her seriously in these Christmas movies, being all kind and nice to people? Hell no. I can see her doing a whole bunch of horror movies and being a villain for sure. But I don't see her playing anything else. I don't see her winning any Oscars. I don't see her, not nothing. She will be blacklisted after this movie or after this trial. And then if she is in Aquaman 2, that movie's not going to make one damn dime. It's going to make a couple bucks, but that's about it. It's not going to do very well. And that's screwing up Jason Momoa. And from what I understand, Jason Momoa is a stand-up dude. Whether you like his acting or not, he's still cool. Let's keep it real. He cool. Amber 2 okay. Man, that's funny. No wire hangers ever. I can see that. But or it's just a reality show. Mommy Dearest, the reality show, starring Amber Heard. You know what I'm saying? And her child. She has a child. Let's not forget she has a child. Holy cow. I just don't see this woman having any type of longevity in a career. They are not going to be hiring her unless she's doing stuff on P-Hub. I said it. Or doing stuff with Pauly Shore and Corey Haim. It's pretty bad, y'all. It's pretty bad. Nosy Rosie, is that true? Is that true? I don't know if that's true. I've heard that rumor, but I don't know if that's true. And if that is true about Jason Momoa, that sucks. That's tragic and it's grody. You know what I mean? He out here, he was with her for a long time. That's a dad. You're playing a dad role. I don't see that, but hopefully that's not true. God forbid. I hope that's not true. But like I said, she goes to trial. Or she's going to be on the stand next week. And when that goes down, oh, yeah, Queen Beb or B-E-B. Is it Beb or B-E-B? Let me know. Queen, but thank you so much. Or OnlyFans or OF. Let's keep it real. Or OF. Or OF. If you really think about it, she'd make a grip. You know, for a fact, if she went on to OF, there'd be a lot of dudes trying to see her. Not me though. I don't think she cute, bruh. I do not think she's cute, ladies and gentlemen. She is not cute. Not to me. And maybe it's because of all this stuff that's been brewing around her that just makes her look disgusting to me. Maybe that's what it is too. But at the same time, I just do not find her any way, shape, or form remotely an attractive human being. There are better looking human beings out here on this planet, and she is not one of them. And maybe it's just I can see her energy, right? Because, you know, some people, they can be not the greatest looking people in the world, but for some odd reason, you're pulled towards them because of their energy, their vibe, their vibrations. You feel me? She has some very dark energy circling around that woman. I am not with it. Susan McIntosh, thank you so much for the $3 super chat. Amber will be in Gone Girl 2.0. Word. You know, I can see her this becoming a Lifetime movie starring her as herself. You see what I'm saying? I could see that. Or I could see her coming out with a book talking about this whole excursion and then selling the rights to her story so it can be out there. But one thing I will say this too. I just watched something yesterday where somebody was actually comparing all these accusations to Gone Girl. Man, you got to go check it out. It's pretty damn amazing. The connection between these things is scary. It's scary that that there are people out here that would think of doing something like this. Real talk. But like I've said before, this is a strong reminder to all of us to be careful of who we keep in our lives. Be careful of the company that you keep, because you just don't know. There are some evil people out here that are up to no good, or as soon as they feel like in their mind, if they feel like you've double-crossed them or done them dirty, they will try to up the ante and do you even worse than they feel that you've done to them. And that is scary. Very, very scary. Anyway, guys, as you know, okay, wait. Let me kill this music real quick before I start saying my bye. Okay. Real quick, I want to let you guys know I will be on Monday morning to watch the trial. If she takes the stand, I will be going live and I will be watching it with all y'all or whoever wants to watch it with me. And we're going to sit there and we're going to eat. We're going to drink. We're going to, you know what I mean? We're going to go through lunch, breakfast, lunch, and sit down and talk about this whole thing. And I'm also hoping to get some friends of mine to swing through the show as we watch it together, because there's a lot that we need to talk about. I got some lawyer friends and people who are properly vetted and properly well-versed in this trial thing. They're going to be coming in to chop it up. So I will be on first thing in the morning on Monday if they start with her, if they are actually bringing her on. And if it ends up they start with something else and then they bring her on later on in the day, I will hop on and we will be watching it live, because this is something we cannot miss. This is going to be her best performance and her only performance ever. This is her last acting gig she's ever going to have. It's her on the stand. And I want to see how she finesses all these questions and how she finesses, or at least tries to finesse, the jury during this entire cross-examination. It's going to be phenomenal. So we're going to sit through it together, and it's going to be phenomenal. Okay? So anyway, guys, yes, Jersey. Yes, Jersey Devil. The final curtain call. You see what I'm saying? She's going to be like, yes, thank you. People are going to be throwing roses out to her, bouquets and all that. She goes, oh my God, thank you. This is going to be her last gig. Watch. It gets to 3 million. It's going to be 3 million before the end of the night. This petition. Watch. And then Aquaman 2 is going to be like, the producers of Aquaman 2 are going to be like, nah, we can't do this. We're going to be losing a huge bag. Trust. Watch. Hopefully by Monday morning, we're going to find out she has no more job. Oh, and let's not forget that. Can you put the chat? Can you put the link in the chat for Aquaman 2 for everyone wants it? And there's one for L'Oreal as well. I forgot. Yes, I'll put it in the chat. Hold up. I'm going to do that right now before you guys disappear and head off, because you guys should know about this ish as well. It's right there. There's the petition. Okay, guys, that is the petition. Please go click on it. Check it out if you want to sign it or not. Because like I said, that is your choice. Whether you believe her or not, that is your choice, okay? We all have our own personal opinions about this and all that. But let's be real. Aquaman 2, for example, those producers are going to sit there and go, we spend way too much money to produce and make these movies happen. And if nobody is willing to go see it, and if there's going to be a worldwide boycott of that movie, that's a huge bag that we lose. We're not going to do that. I guarantee you she's going to be kicked off of this thing by Monday morning. Watch. And then L'Oreal. Yes, she's the face of L'Oreal. And what's funny is also she used a completely different Milani. She used a different makeup, cosmetic company to say that she was using that to cover up the bruises that Johnny Depp inflicted on her. That's funny, isn't it? Don't you think? Why wouldn't she just say, oh yeah, I used L'Oreal foundation? You know what I'm saying? But she didn't. She used a completely different over-the-counter convenience store brand because she knew that if she put L'Oreal out there, they'd probably drop her like a sack of potatoes. Think about it. She didn't want her name and L'Oreal's name connected to this defamation lawsuit, so she chose something else. Real talk. So the petition's out there. Sign it if you want to. That's on y'all. That's your decision. You feel me? And I'm sure the numbers are going to keep skyrocketing over tonight because it's only Friday. It's only Friday night, so we'll see how it grows. Okay? But anyway, guys, I appreciate all y'all for being on. It was a great conversation with y'all this morning and right now. It's been a fantastic couple shows. Maybe I'll be on tomorrow morning. We got some conversations to talk about. There's a couple missing person situations going on that I'd love to bring light to you guys as well. So I most likely will be on in the morning to chop it up about that. So be on the lookout for that as well. But it's time to get going. I appreciate all y'all. Have a blessed and wonderful weekend. If I don't see you, do something positive. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys very soon. This is the Pascal Show. Bye. Polly Shook. Or, you know what I'm saying? Nothing but D-list. I'm sorry, but her career is screwed. Yeah, it's screwed.